I don't remember exactly what I was thinking as I walked through the front doors of Columbia Manor, which was my first facility. But I can tell you that from a very young age, I'd always dreamed of running my own long-term care company. And here I was doing what I was meant to do. I had this vivid sense of deja vu. In high school, I remember we used to stand on the stairs before we'd go out to warm up, and the crowd would be going crazy, and I remember that sense of energy and anticipation. That's what I felt like on that first day, is that we were getting in the game. Well, the story certainly doesn't start with me. My great-grandmother, Sarah Delamarter, owned a home in Newberg, Oregon. And she started taking elderly people into her home, and pretty soon the need got so big that she moved the family out and turned it into a board and care home. And from there, she went and bought a home in Wood Village and did the same thing and converted that to a board and care home. She was a little bit of an entrepreneur, and she started doing this across the state of Oregon. My grandmother and grandfather followed my great-grandmother into the profession. And then my father, after a tour of duty in Vietnam, followed my grandparents, and that was with Dell's Convalescent Center, which is in Northeast Portland. And Dell's today is Marquis Care at Piedmont, so that facility is still in the family. I started working in the facilities when I was 13 and started doing laundry and housekeeping jobs. In 1983, I really started full-time with Dad. He started Prestige Care very shortly thereafter. I worked with him as my brother Steve worked with him for several years. We then became the fourth generation of Foggs in the long-term care profession. When I stepped out on my own in the late 80s, it was a really challenging time in long-term care in Oregon specifically. We had the community-based care program was growing rapidly, and it was bringing the occupancies down. There were a lot of reimbursement challenges. People really allowed themselves, I thought, to get their head down and to get negative, because it was really, for many providers, a time where they were just focused on survival. That was really challenging for me, and I didn't want to work in that environment. I wanted to really focus on trying to create an organization with a real positive culture. So in 1989, my wife Angie and I decided to go out on our own and to acquire Columbia Manor, which is in southwest Portland, on a lease. To say that we had limited resources would have been a severe understatement. In addition to that, I'm 24 years old. I look like I'm 15, and now I walk into a business and I'm trying to gain the trust and respect of a staff who is in a facility that's got a lot of challenges. But I have to tell you, I had done a lot of turnarounds with Prestige, and I was very excited to take on the challenge and really start something that was my own and that was a reflection of my values. 20 years later, here we are. And obviously, a lot of things have changed. We've gone from just skilled nursing facilities to assisted living facilities, Alzheimer's facilities. We now provide institutional pharmacy services, contract rehab services, staffing services, and we're actually one of the largest home health care providers in the state of Oregon as well. It's incredible how all of these organizations and their leaders have all worked together with a common goal of providing the best long-term care services in this profession. You know, we've navigated through a lot of challenges over the last 20 years, and it's not been an easy process. However, we've been able to remain successful, I think, because we've really kept our focus on the quality of care and on our culture. We define culture as really the accumulation of the choices that are made every day. And so I think that our staff can see that it's not about what we do, but it's how we do what we do that defines us as an organization. I think it's the reason that they stay with us, and I think it's the reason that they're proud to say that they work with Marquis. Years from now, when people talk about Marquis, I really hope that they will say things like, hey, they had a passion for seniors, they made a difference every day. But I also really hope that they'll say They made choices every day that were a reflection of those values, and those values were great for their staff, great for their residents, and great for the long-term care community in general. We talk a lot about vitality here. It's in our mission statement, it's reflected in our marketing materials, and for us it's really a focus on what people can do, not on what they can't do. For our staff, vitality means not getting beaten down by the regulatory environment and some of the pressures that are inherent to the long-term care profession. It means really staying focused on making a difference in people's life. That's why we created the Vital Life Foundation. It's really an effort to keep our residents and our staff connected to their communities through supporting local charities.
Hey, this is Michelle with Marquis Companies, and we are at the 2008 Portland Race for the Cure. We have about 350 participants out here racing for a cure to stamp out breast cancer.
It's a good cause, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Worth getting up and being in the bus at 6:30 in the morning?
Yes.
The foundation has not only created a vehicle for us to help people that have limited ability to help themselves at times, but it's also allowed us to give the residents the joy and the experience of being able to give back to their community.
I made this for you.
Thank you very much.
Of anything that we do at Marquis, the one thing that highlights our mission and values more than anything else is our New Chapters program. We believe that long-term care should be about life, not just the end of life. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter if you have physical disabilities, you can still have meaning and purpose. One of my favorite quotes is, "It's not about the breaths you take in life, but the moments that take your breath away." And if we can give our residents one more experience that takes their breath away, that's pretty cool. The organization that we are today, again, we started with 60, 70 staff members, and now we're at 4,000. Our organization is a reflection of not only our current staff, but the contributions of many, many people that actually aren't even with us any longer. They've all been a part of our family, they've all made a contribution, and they've all touched and influenced the way we do things. I don't know that it's unhealthy to celebrate a milestone, but somebody once said that when you start focusing on your past more than on your future, you know your organization is in trouble. That's one of the things that I think we've really done well at Marquis, is to not really focus on the past, but look forward to the future, plan for the future, and really try to create a dynamic organization for the future. While the last 20 years have not always been perfect, and there's certainly been a lot of challenges, by keeping the meaning and the purpose for what we do front and center with our staff and with our clients, I think that it's allowed people to maintain a passion for long-term care and the profession that we're in. And I think that might be the thing I'm most proud of, is that after 20 years, I still have the passion, and I know that the staff that I work with have a passion for what they do. So after 20 years, we don't have our heads down. In fact, we're looking forward to the future with more optimism and energy than even 20 years ago. There's another great quote that I like, and it's, "You should strive to live the kind of life that you'd want to live over and over again." And it's important to me because I think that you have to live life to the fullest. You've got to realize that what makes life so valuable is the lack of permanency. You only get to do this once, and it should be everything that it can be to you. Ultimately, Marquis has been about the relentless pursuit of a very simple thing, and that is a life well lived. And would I do this over again? You bet I would.